I take this opportunity to introduce our keynote speaker for this year's installation. He's a remarkable individual who has been a driving force in the media landscape of our country. He's the group director at the Capital Maharaja Group, where he heads the Sirasa Media Network and also the group's music business. He also leads the Ganga movement, one of Sri Lanka's largest grassroots movements.
He is the Sri Lanka business leader for the Bali Process Government and Business Forum Against Modern Slavery, and currently sits on the Global Advisory Board at Brown University in the US. This individual is a Fulbright Scholar, an Eisenhower Global Fellow, and an Asia 21 Fellow. He is internationally certified by the International Rescue Instructors Association as a Swift Water Lifesaver. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Chevaan Daniel.
Thank you, Ruvini, Dilini, and Mark. Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a singular honor for me to be here for several reasons. I am a huge fan of Toastmasters and try to make it to as many Toastmaster events as I possibly can, purely because I find Toastmasters to be such an enthusiastic, interesting group of people, energetic and so interesting and curious to improve themselves. And I think that is a wonderful, wonderful characteristic. So congratulations to all of you, first of all, for forming this club and for investing your time and energy. I can tell you it's time well invested. Secondly, of course, the fact that this Toastmaster Club is at the BOI, which frankly is obviously one of the most important institutes in Sri Lanka for so many reasons, increasingly so. We all owe our allegiance to the BOI, our support and appreciation for all of the hard work that you've put in over the years and all of the hard work that you will put in years to come. It is you and us together who will take this country forward. And we thank you for your service, and I'm truly honored to be here speaking to you today. The topic that you've selected today, I'm not sure if you put in a lot of thought into it, but I was thinking about awaken, inspire, and achieve. And I was kind of struck by the fact that this is exactly the same philosophy under which Ganga was born. 3 different words: facts, truth, and action, but they reflect the same kind of thinking. So congratulations on selecting something that is very meaningful, and I'd like to talk to you about random thoughts on this very important philosophy. To start out with, though, I'd like you to do something a little strange. I'd like you to all please close your eyes for a few moments. Can I ask you to do that? No cheating. I can already see people cheating. Just close your eyes for a few seconds. And I want you to notice the fact that you can't see anything, obviously. You might see a little glimmer of light, but you won't be able to see anything. You can't see what I'm doing unless you're peeking. And you can open your eyes. And obviously now you see everything. And I want you to think about getting home tonight with your eyes closed. Is it possible? You wouldn't probably get out of this building unless you had assistance. Darkness is a terrible thing. It is a blinding thing. It is something that totally disables you. Darkness. And I'm going to pick on and steal a phrase that Mark and Dilini used, and that is to dispel darkness with light, when they were referring to the lighting of the oil lamp. And so when you're talking about awakening, you have to be in a certain state to be awakened. We can't be awakened because we're already awake. Am I right? So what state do you need to be awakened? You need to be awfully quiet for a bunch of Toastmasters. You need to be asleep. Okay? And so, philosophically, what does it mean to be awakened? But awakened by what? What is that light that will help you see? Open your eyes. You see, we're all pretty much the same. We might be doing different things, working in different companies, having different responsibilities. We're obviously vastly different ages, different genders, but we're all essentially after the same thing. We are looking for an opportunity to be recognized, an opportunity to reach our potential, to be our best. I don't think there's anyone here among us who wants to be anything but your best. And some of us get opportunities, some of us, might miss opportunities. It's all part of life. It's about that little bit of recognition. Now, there's nothing wrong with this. I don't know how, I did my master's in political philosophy, and one of my favorite philosophers was Hegel. And Hegel would talk about this concept of man's want. When I say man, I mean human being. Human beings want and need to be recognized. To be recognized. To feel a sense of dignity. To feel justice. What happens if you're not recognized? The first thing that happens if human beings feel that they've been treated unjustly is you feel anger. You feel anger. And when you feel anger, it then motivates you to action out of anger. And so this very fundamental feeling or need to be recognized is a very, very important factor, not only in our interpersonal relationships, but also in our leadership, and also in our journey as leaders. Now, we all undertake journeys of growth. Even this tonight it's a journey for me, it's a journey for you. But those journeys that we undertake outwardly, you might fly all the way to Connecticut and follow an executive course at Harvard University and spend a good $100,000, or at Cambridge University. And that's all good, that's all great. But those outward journeys are not the only type of journeys that will help you discover something supremely important. And that is your purpose. Ruvini used this beautiful phrase, the beauty of shared purpose, in your speech. And before we get to a shared purpose, it's important that each of us discovers our very own purpose. And that purpose is not at Harvard University or Cambridge. It's inside each of us. And so that journey, as much as it is outward, is also inward. That awakening must also take place inside as much as outside. Think of it as opening your eyes and allowing the sunlight to fall inside so that the flowers of truth can bloom. Flowers of inspiration can bloom. And we are lucky, my friends, because we live in a nation that is so blessed with philosophies of truth all around us. Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Islam. We have it all around us. And each of these ideologies or philosophies teach us one thing: pursuit of the truth. It's called different things, light and all these things, but ultimately it is all about an awakening. moving even beyond religions, this nation is also blessed with a beautiful culture. And if you are to listen to the whispers of wisdom that our culture is willing to share with each of us, you will never open a book by Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or any of these guys. Because the greatest of leadership, philosophy, and wisdom is right here. It's in our Pansiya Panas Jatak Katha. It's in the Chula Hattipadavama Sutra. It's right here. It's just as we need to be able to open it up and allow and humble ourselves enough to accept that this civilization of so many thousands of years, we've not scratched the surface of what it has to offer us. And so we are very, very lucky, my friends, because if we are looking to awaken ourselves, well then, that awakening, we have with the entire toolbox, the starter kit for awakening ourselves right here. And so, if you want to be inspired, well then it's not going to happen by listening to me. It'll be a temporary fix, like a coffee in the morning. But true inspiration is about finding your potential and pursuing it against all odds. How do you do that? Because pursuing your potential, pursuing something that you truly believe in, is difficult. I'm telling you that from personal experience. Working in the media since I was 18 years old, I've been called just about everything you can imagine. Every imaginable thing. You know, negative or positive, if you're motivated to stay on the path of what you believe in and stay on the path of something that you believe inside of you is your true potential, then particularly during the bad times, when things are not quite working out, that's when your purpose will support you and carry you through. It's supremely important. So these three words, awaken, inspire, and achieve, aren't just three words. They are deep philosophies. And I really want us to think about, in fact, it gave me an opportunity, just knowing that I have to speak to you this evening. It gave me an opportunity to think deeply about what it truly means to be enlightened. Follow the facts. Let's not all walk around with our eyes closed, this famous phrase, with our eyes wide shut. Let's always assess things deeply, meaningfully, because believe me, the more information that we have today around us, particularly on our mobile phones, the less intelligent we seem to be getting. It's like trying to drink water from a fire hose. Is it possible? Just imagine drinking water from a cup as opposed to trying to drink from a fire hose. It's impossible. You won't be able to breathe because the pressure and the volume of water will be so vast that it'll probably end up hurting yourself. That is what the news media and social media is doing today. I don't involve myself in these unnecessary battles. It doesn't matter to me. Because I am very clear with what my role is. And my role is to ensure that the people of Sri Lanka have the right nourishment in terms of news and information that they need. Do I get it wrong? Of course I get it wrong. If I get it wrong, we will apologize and move on. So, the fact that we are so inundated with so much information, so much data, so much news, means that we're actually blinded. You know, as much as darkness blinds you, have you ever stood in front of a vehicle which has all of those lights? You can't see anything. You end up crashing into something. It's very similar. We are blinded also by all of this news, all of this information, things that are happening at the rate of knots, and you feel like if you don't respond, you're losing out. My friends, you're not losing out on anything. Focus, attention, is the difference between human beings and animals. If you go back a few thousand, 45, 50,000 years, it was a bunch of human beings who realized that if they stay in one place for long enough and observe a group of animals, that they can then trap those animals and hunt those animals and feed themselves. It took a long period of time of observation for them to realize that. It takes a long period of time to cultivate crops. And so that is why other animals can't do what we do. Because we've invested the time and the energy and the mind space to strengthen our focus and our attention. Our focus and our attention is being stolen today by the devices in our pockets. Now you might think, this is really rich, Chevaan. You've got all these social media platforms, News First and all of that. But I'm telling you openly and boldly, it should only be a tool to help you awaken yourself to the truth. Once you walk in the truth, what happens? If the truth is based on facts, and I'm sure all of you have, but if you haven't, read the very first sutra that the Lord Buddha preached, the Chulahattipadopa Sutra. And that is this very short sutra. It's so beautiful and practical. It just teaches you how to arrive at the truth by following the facts. And if you arrive at the truth, what's going to happen? Your decisions are going to be correct. And that will help you achieve. We tend to focus on the achievement. I want to appoint the best government. I want to appoint the best president. I want to become the CEO. It doesn't work like that. Start with now, this very moment. Take that inward journey. Let's not be like those holidays. You know how many of us go on a holiday for 1 week? Okay? We take a break, we take leave from work, we go on a holiday for a week. We come back from the holiday, and the first day at work, what happens? You want to go back to your holiday. Are you motivated to come to work? Anyone who is motivated after holiday? I don't think so. Everybody just hates that first few hours at work because you don't know what's going on, and you want to go back to Norelia or Candia, wherever you went. That can't be the motivation journey. So do you get it? Journeys outward, a holiday, doesn't necessarily motivate you. So I don't get the concept of taking a break to motivate yourself. You take a break to achieve other things, but not to get back to work so you can increase your productivity, because it doesn't happen. You're not motivated. You want to go back to your holiday. But if you're on an inward journey, and if you somehow find that purpose in you, which is the most important thing, you won't have to work a day in your life because you'll always be on that journey. And while we were standing over there, Mr. Lawrence said something that was truly beautiful. He said, the power of an idea. Okay, and the power of an idea is the most powerful thing on earth. You can only get ideas if you still your mind. If your mind is very, very noisy, it's like trying to see something at the bottom of a pond when you throw a rock into it. It's not possible. You can't see anything. But if you calm yourself and find the tools, whatever it might work for you, whatever works for you is completely up to you. But whatever works for you to calm your mind, to still your mind, so that you can access other parts of it, so that you can observe and see and listen. And listen. How many of us listen? Then you will begin to see things that you never knew you even had inside of you. I learned to listen because obviously I made a career out of speaking, okay, and reading and things like that. But my late boss, Mr. Rajamahendan, the chairman of the group, pushed me out into the villages of Sri Lanka. I was born and raised in Colombo. I had no experience in doing anything in a village. And my name is weird name already, so I was like an alien in these villages. And so I really couldn't speak, honestly. I was just sent out and I had to listen. And as I listened to people speak about their lives, how hard their lives were, I began to connect with something inside of me that I never knew I had. I couldn't do anything to solve these problems that they were talking about. But by listening to what they were saying, I got changed. What happened when I got changed? An idea was born. What happened when an idea was born? It's like sitting on fire. You can't sit still. You want to make something happen. And that was 15 years ago. Today, I still can't sit still. My team still can't sit still. Because it is that fire that we found by shutting up and listening, being awakened to the power of an idea, that motivates us to keep doing what we're doing. And my sincere hope is that all of us can be on that journey, inward and outward, and find that purpose. And if we all find that purpose, and if that purpose can somehow be connected to a larger purpose, the shared purpose that you referred to, a shared purpose of taking this nation to its fullest potential, which is, I don't need to tell you at the BOI. You know what the potential of this nation is. If we can all do that, then, you know, that recognition that we were talking about, that we really all want to feel, that pride in that passport, it's going to come naturally. That's for sure. So I want to thank you once again for this opportunity. I'm deeply honored to speak to all of you. And I wish the incoming board every luck and every success as you lead this Toastmasters Club, as you change lives, as you awaken, inspire, and achieve. Thank you very much, and good night.